Will the House please come to order and members kindly take their seats? Good morning. The devotional today will be led by Representative Rob North of Ferrisburg.
Good morning, colleagues, and happy Valentine's Day. Everybody wearing their red? Okay. Whether you're an English major or an engineer, somebody working in the medical realm, or a lawyer, we all appreciate the definition of terms. And one of the things that I was very satisfied to see coming to the legislature was that each bill we put out and most laws that are in place have a first section that defines the terms that they're about to use in the legislation. So today being Valentine's Day, one of the terms that we celebrate, in fact, today we are celebrating love, the concept of love. So I thought we would go today back to the source document that defines love and review that definition together today. That document being the Bible, authored by the inventor of love itself. And so I'm going to read to you today. In fact, if any of you have been to multiple weddings, you probably have heard this before. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which says, "If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all that I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. And as for knowledge, it will pass away. So now, faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love." Now, given that definition of love, that very comprehensive definition of love, I thought I would share just two verses that apply that definition to us. First one being John chapter 15, verses 12 and 13. "This is my commandment." This is Jesus speaking to his disciples. He says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends." And finally, from Romans chapter 5, verse 8, "But God shows his love for us, and that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us."
Members, on this Friday, we honor a former member of the House who passed away since our last Friday memoriam. Will you please rise as we remember a member of the House who we lost this past week? Representative Sandra L. Baird of Burlington was born in 1940, served in the House from 1993 to 1996, and passed away on February 10th, 2025. Please join me in a moment of silence in memory of Representative Baird. Well, it's hard to believe, members, but We are at the end of the first group of pages serving this legislative session. Good morning. I'm honored to thank and acknowledge this first group of legislative pages for their important contributions this session. As legislative pages, you play a crucial role carrying conversations and documentation that spurred the creation of bills that later become law. Your time in the State House has made a lasting impact, and now you are part of the history of the 2025 legislative session. And just like those who came before you, you now are a valuable part of our legislative family. I hope your experience here was enriching and that you had the chance to learn, to explore the building, and see how legislative process works. I also hope you form meaningful relationships with other pages and people in the building, and that you'll stay connected to this institution in the years ahead. Remember that the doors of the State House are always open for you to return and visit. We wish you the very best in your future endeavors, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for your service. At this time, I will call each page up to receive their pin and take a photo. Please hold your applause to the end and we'll thank them again. First, we have Peter Burkholder of Barnard. No, you're good. Salvador Doyle from Montpelier. Lucy Hakeem of Shelburne. Daphne Crone from South Burlington. Dean Roy from Stowe. Haley Sherman from East Montpelier. And Henry Smith from Shelburne. All right, let's give them one more round of applause. Members, we have 6 House bills for introduction today. House Bill 221 is an act relating to the Firearm Surrender Order Compliance Working Group, introduced by Representative Arsenault of Williston and others. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 221, an act relating to the Firearm Surrender Order Compliance Working Group.
Now the bill's been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Judiciary. Next is House Bill 222, which is an act relating to participation in a domestic violence accountability program as a condition of a final relief from abuse prevention order, introduced by Representative Arsenault of Williston and others. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 222, an act relating to participation in a domestic violence accountability program as a condition of a final relief from abuse prevention order.
Now the bill's been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Judiciary. Next is House Bill 223, which is an act relating to stalking through the use of tracking technology, introduced by Representatives Arsenault of Williston and Priestley of Bradford. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 223, an act relating to stalking through the use of tracking technology.
Now the bill has been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Judiciary. House Bill 224 is an act relating to establishing a thermal benefits charge, introduced by Representative Morwicki of Putney. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 224, an act relating to establishing a thermal benefits charge.
Now the bill has been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Energy and Digital Infrastructure. Next is House Bill 225, which is an act relating to conducting a climate health study, introduced by Representative Morwicki of Putney. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 225, an act relating to conducting a climate health study.
Now the bill has been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Environment. And finally, House Bill 226 is an act relating to conducting a clean heat standard study, introduced by Representative Morwicki of Putney. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 226, an act relating to conducting a clean heat standard study.
Now the bill has been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Energy and Digital Infrastructure. Members, we have received a request to read a House concurrent resolution that the House and Senate adopted pursuant to the consent calendar. HCR 19 is a House concurrent resolution congratulating Vermonter Noah Dines on establishing a new one-year world record vertical skiing record of 3,590,097 feet. Please listen to the reading of the resolution.
Whereas uphill or vertical skiing entails different modes of energy and exertion than a downhill traverse, and when a skier accumulates millions of feet in the condensed time frame of 1 year, the stamina and strength required is most impressive. And whereas Vermonter Noah Dines set out to establish a new world record for the most number of feet skied vertically in a single year, an ambitious goal since the existing record set in 2016 was 2,500,000 feet. And whereas the mileage required to meet his objective was undeniably daunting, but Noah Dines was hardly deterred. He pursued this project with the utmost enthusiasm. And whereas he commenced this endeavor on his home mountain in Stowe, ascending upwards nearly 10,000 feet each day, plus the requisite descent necessitated to complete each round trip. And whereas realizing that year-round snow, not merely the limited months it was accessible in Stowe, was essential for his mission, Noah Dines traveled within the United States to Colorado, Oregon, and Utah, and abroad to Austria, Chile, and France. And whereas in pursuit of his target, Noah Dines maximized 3 pairs of ski boots, 5 sets of skis, and 12 pairs of skins. And whereas in September 2024, Noah Dines broke the then existing 2,500,000 foot record, but he was hardly finished, as his original hope was to ski 3 million feet. And whereas he far exceeded that mark, concluding on December 30th, 2024, having skied vertically 3,590,097 feet, with supporting statistics of 6,082 miles and 2,268.34 total hours skied, and having averaged a daily 9,836 vertical feet, 6.13 hours, 16.66 miles, and 1.8 bags of candy. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives that the General Assembly congratulates Vermonter Noah Dines on establishing a new one-year world vertical skiing record of 3,590,097 feet, the equivalent of 120 ascents of Mount Everest. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be directed to send a copy of this resolution to Noah Dines.
Members, we do not have any bills on our action calendar for today, so this is our one set of announcements. Are there any announcements, member from Stowe?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and happy Valentine's Day to you and others in the chamber. But Madam Speaker, I'd like you to imagine skiing uphill for 665 miles. That's the distance of Chicago to Atlanta, or perhaps Burlington to Chicago. And did I say uphill? And of course, what goes up must come down. So add another 665 miles, or it now becomes 1,330 miles round trip. Last year, Noah Dines of Stowe set a new world record for human-powered vertical feet skied in 1 year, over 3,590,000 feet. That's roughly 10,000 vertical feet of climbing per day, or ascending. It's also 10,000 vertical feet of descending, 20,000 feet per day, ascending, descend, ascend, descend, ascend, descend, rinse and repeat for the entire year. Think 5 Mount Mansfield round trips per day. It does help to know how to ski. Sure, you need to be fit, but more importantly, you need to know how to fuel up and keep yourself locked in on your goal. Think of the caloric intake required every day. Eat another banana or 2,000. Think of the positive self-talk on those long days and very cold mornings. One moment you are your own drill sergeant, the next your own therapist. Imagine having no dedicated support crew and being your own bike mechanic while competing in the Tour de France. Madam Speaker, even with all that alone time, and in his mind, I suspect that what will stand out in Noah's memories most is the role that the amazing people around the globe who cheered, housed, fed, transported, and otherwise supported him in this remarkable journey. So congratulations, Noah. You are most certainly Green Mountain tough. And Madam Speaker, with us today, and they're seated in the gallery, are along with our honoree, are his mother and father, Karen and Rob Dines, a videographer, Charles Hildick Smith, and a couple of his friends who accompanied him locally, came down from Morrisville. So, Madam Speaker, if you would help me in welcoming these guests and our honoree to the People's House.
Will the guest of the member from Stowe please rise and be recognized? Member from Calais.
Madam Chair, I rise to ask us to celebrate the Vermont Housing and Conservation Coalition. You know, sometimes it's easy to take for granted the ways Vermont is special and wonderful. It's what we know. But this unique Housing and Conservation Coalition is one of the ways that Vermont is literally unlike almost any other state. I know from my own experience in my past life that in most states, the housing folks on the one hand and the environmental and conservation folks on the other are locked in a perpetual unproductive conflict, chained to mutual negative fantasies about each other in ways that hurt the community at large. Madam Chair, this is not true in this wonderful state of Vermont. This coalition of affordable housing, conservation, and historic preservation bridges this divide and has done so since it was started over 35 years ago. Their early work led to the creation of VHCB, the Vermont Housing and Conservation Board. A utterly unique combination in one instrumentality of the state, unlike any other in the country. This broad coalition is of now well over 55 member organizations, includes most of the state's housing providers and advocates, its planning providers, and its conservation organizations and advocates, and its land trusts. The works of the members of the coalition has touched every corner of this wonderful state, bringing permanently affordable housing to our downtowns and village centers and strengthen our rural economies and working lands. Madam Chair, many of the members of the coalition are here now, and I'd request that we welcome them to the People's House.
Will the guest member from Calais please rise and be recognized? Are there any further announcements? Member from Shelburne.
Madam Speaker, the Public Health Caucus invites the body to hear Dr. Levine, our Health Commissioner, next Friday. He'll be speaking about changes taking place at the federal level and other top concerns, and also some opportunities. We'll be meeting in room 10.
Member from Chittenden.
Madam Speaker, the countdown continues. 30 days to Selection Sunday. Thank you.
Member from Brattleboro.
Madam Speaker, the House Ways and Means Committee is hosting the second of our 4-part tax workshop series today at noon in room 11 with a focus on education finance.
Are there any further announcements? Member from Waterbury.
Madam Speaker, it is Valentine's Day, but that's probably not the most special part of today. Most special part of today is that it's the Dean of the House's birthday today. And as well, it's a special birthday, she tells me. And as well, her birthday buddy sitting behind me also is celebrating a birthday today. So let's wish them happy birthday.
Happy birthday, members. Are there any further announcements? Member from Springfield.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I know it's not tradition to honor a person a second time, but each year that I've been in the State House, the thunder has been stolen from my cloud. So I rise today to honor, not only is it Valentine's Day, and I'm sure we all have loved ones, either home or within this chamber. And we all want to honor those special people. The district mate from Springfield is having another trip around the sun that we applaud her for all her efforts. She is, as mentioned from the previous speaker, or the Dean of the House. That's widely known in larger circles. She has been a strong mentor for me, a relentless campaign driver. It's caused me to walk several miles in Springfield, up and downhill. And I would just like to mention that in smaller circles, she may be known as the Queen Mum. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, member.
Are there any further announcements? Seeing none. Member from St. Albans Town, can you please offer us a motion to adjourn until Tuesday, February 18th at 10 a.m.?
Madam Speaker, I make a motion that this body stand in adjournment until Tuesday, February 18th at 10 a.m.
You have heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and this body stands in adjournment until next Tuesday at 10 a.m.